were lacking in firepower. So yeah, it was a pretty tough challenge for the second grenade elimination for this evening. Now Top's also on the ground, not looking too good for the side of Falcons. They may not be able to soar this time and spread their wings, but Icy still trying to make it happen with the S12K. But
what more can they do? It's all down to Ease. They got him all core beauty right here, securing 8 points already. You know, we haven't always gotten the camera onto them all too much in this matchup, but hey, yeah, they've been making things work so far for themselves, still having that full squad strength intact, and now challenging for a potential chicken dinner. Well, BTR, they finally get themselves a little bit more of that reprieve, but there is going to be a push towards their angle right now. Falcons also getting shot at, whereas somehow Vena Esports tries to squeeze some points back, having that Lone Ranger up the hills for the longest of time. But that isn't going to be all too much helpful. The rest of Vagabonds now tries to push through, but BTR, they are ready to strike.
For the side of MME, I mean, they didn't really have that much of a choice. They were lacking in firepower, so yeah, it was a pretty tough challenge for them to actually get inside the circle, considering that there are at least 2 teams that are looking at their direction. Now, from the kill feed, it's BTR getting some points under their belt. Falcon East is currently knocked down on the ground by QX Triple Z here, so we can finally see that DRX boys finally decided to bring their A game rather, and right now he is coming after the remaining guys of Falcons, throwing a lot of nades, disorienting them, and probably weakening their defense before they strike.
Things are looking to be pretty dire for the side of the RX. You can see that they've been pinched no matter where they actually turn. Right now, they have to force the fight up against either BTR, Falcons, or even RSG. So no easy way for them to actually get things done, but they will try to at least create that passage by knocking down East. That's only 1 out of the 3 members of Falcons Force at the very moment. And Falcon Force, I guess the only why DRX sees this as an opportunity is because there are angles which Falcons Force cannot actually cover. That's why they're sending Hyunbin into this direction. They're waiting for the rest of DRX to rally towards this angle because it's much closer to the zone as well. And then eventually they could just get right through and perhaps force that fight that they've been craving for.
Stage 6, and we are left dealing with 6 teams remaining as well. ASI 8 with a very good vantage point up against Kagendra. Kagendra might be impossible for them to get inside considering their position, but let's see if they can pull off another trick in the sleeves. Now, Team Falcons, I see right now going head-to-head up against BTR. We can see that Ken and the rest of the gang here is trying to flush them out with a lot of mollies being thrown. Icy trying to respond with his own, but Ken cooking up that nade. Nerdsit is in another building here, and he was the one who got knocked down because he took the nade to the face. Now Ken going in for the second grenade elimination for this evening. Now Top's also on the ground, not looking too good for the side of Falcons. They may not be able to soar this time and spread their wings, but Icy still trying to make it happen with the S12K, but BTR doing extremely well of shutting everyone down. 7 elimination points, and they're still going at it.
BTR on fire once again. Still 2 members to settle. Make that one as Falcons. What more can they do? It's all down to East. They got him all cornered up. BTR Knights is here in the top 5.
That was such a great exchange coming from both amazing teams here. But at the end of the clash, of course, it was BTR emerging victorious. 5 teams remaining, ladies and gents. We can probably hear the ominous music from the background. Rayguns Gaming now doing a massive spray up against DRX, but could not find his target just yet. Hyunbin is, of course, taking advantage of those slopes that we can see, you know, from the dunes of Miramar. QX Triple Z on prone, trying to have a steady spray up against BTR, but BTR not leaving that house just yet, so there is still cover. There's not much pressure at the moment, considering the fact that all the teams are inside the circle, so they are safe for now, but I don't know for how long, because actual Maka coming from Kagendra might be so near his demise.
Yeah, at this POV that we're looking at the side of the RX, I was thinking, like, why did they not charge in when they were having a fight between Falcons as well as BTR? And now it starts to make a whole lot of sense because they got the better angles coming through the hillside. Meanwhile, massive hail of nades being tossed over the side of a over onto the bottom's end, and the rest of Gendra pretty much stuck in the pit. And speaking of which, it's gonna be Crypto that lands the blow over onto the member of Gendra. Now they need to quickly go on that resuscitation, and the rest of ASI8, they're swarming through like a moth through the flames, and that nade almost taking another member out. Here comes the push, and it's gonna be Hasaki that finds it.
Oh man, I mean, Kagendra's definitely not in great shape. You know, Kagendra exiting the game empty-handed once again. RSG, DRX, ASI8, BTR, final 4 teams remaining. Everyone still has, not everyone, okay, so ASI8 still has a complete squad, while RSG and the rest of the teams remaining only has 3 members playing for them. Now, 9 elimination points, that is the number we're looking at for DRX, and now Soez is doing an angry spray up against Villain right here, but Hyunbin, man, that was something that definitely did not expect, because currently now on the ground could be maybe take a little time for a pickup here, but BT are finding it hard to leave that compound. Can they make it out alive? Because QX has his M4 focused on them, aimed at them even, and let's see if he can make that vehicle explode.
Yeah, world champs now at work. We're trying to actually suppress the rest of BTR, former world champs as well. Well, there is going to be beautiful angles coming from across the hillside where DRX have been clipped up. So SIA, they have been waiting for a very long time, and they've played the high ground game super well throughout the course of this Miramar run. We saw how they've been taking fights inside of Los Leones, and up till this very moment, none of the teams have been able to challenge that, and I guess I spoke too soon. It's going to be a little bit of back and forth trade between them as well as RSG, and he's going to be able to find one. Meanwhile, it's going to be a big eruption where we have pretty much a close-in angle as I8 secures all the takedown necessary in order to make this an even fight. But I say that DRX, 2 members are being knocked down. Once they do get the revives, though, it could be potentially a 4 versus 3.
And DRX has the potential to score a back-to-back winner chicken dinner. After all, they still have 3 members with them, but then again, ASI8, they do have that elevation working out for them. QX is still outside of the zone, and while there is time, you know, the Blue Reaper is not yet there just yet. Hyunbin is coming to the rescue, picking up his teammate. They need all the firepower to make sure that they can actually survive this one at the top. Crypto now outside of the zone, trying to stay behind and monitoring the situation from a distance. That we can see that Soas from down below is cooking up that nade. Maybe he can shut down at least one player coming from ASI. I don't think so, but you know what? For DRX, they are popping up the smoke here. QX now alive and kicking, might be sending a nade himself up against ASI8.
Yeah, really smart plays on how they actually maneuver some of all these situations to get those revives through. Same can be said about ASI8 with a slight advantage in terms of numbers, but you're going up against DRX. You could be 4 against 1, and they could still turn the tides around, which is why they gained so much of that respect. You don't want to actually end up the same way as DRS back in the very first game, where it could have actually been their chicken dinner, but they just got overwhelmed by QXZ. And I guess like this will not be the same scenario. We look at the way that ASI8 has been playing. I said too soon. They have actually turned their cards and they responded in time. Boy, tries to hold it all down. They know that there is a vehicle parked over in the corner, and that's gonna be a Tom. That's gonna be a pushing through. Just using that buggy for a slight cover while they manage to get the revive through. DRX right now tries to hustle their way right across, so it's gonna be a 1v1 and quickly turns into 2 versus 2. Another nade follows through. This could be the angle for ASI8, and it's the rest of DRX couple falling through, and lo and behold, Nepal has dominated, or should I say South Asia has dominated.
Wow, again, what an exchange it was.